Well, welcome to episode 2, part 2 of Concerns, and I'm here again with Albert Levingood, I wouldn't call you my right-hand man, maybe my equal man in this endeavor to address some of the concerns of the people. Well, Albert, here's a concern that I've heard, and I know I've not just heard from people in our congregation, but people outside of our congregation. Like, hey, how do you guys know, like, when to start and to do, like, how do you know you're doing the right thing? Is there a plan in place? What is this plan predicated on? What happens if somebody gets sick? Are you guys going to be cleaning well? Like, all that stuff.
One thing that I've often thought about is we have flexibility, right? So all along, from the very beginning till now, I think the entire session has really taken the effort to look at what's going on at the national level, the state level, the local level, to see, what are the recommended policies, and right now we live in a state that's opening up little by little, and so we would like to open up as well, but we're still going to look at the present context, and if our congregation was to get sick, or our community and infection rates started spreading, we're keeping the live stream going,
Right.
even when we start back. And so, if we need to fall back to that as the only mode of worship, if you will, then we're ready to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've looked at our plan in terms of what our elders and our deacons and the women leadership team and their input, and I kind of put that against several other plans that various folks have sent me, and it's really strong. It's really strong. I felt like the members of the session, everyone really had an interest in looking at it and making sure we anticipate some of the concerns and objections that people might have. But even beyond that, our desire to love and care for people well led us to spend many hours on that. And you were part of that. Can you talk to us a little bit about just the process and putting that through? I mean, you've spent an inordinate amount of hours helping to put that together, from soup to nuts, as it were.
Well, maybe just give one example.
Yeah, sure.
So we're sitting here in the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
There's 11 pews on each side, so we have 22 pews, and we also calculated the square foot
Right.
of square
Footage
of the sanctuary. And so we can have about 12 family units in here and maintain the 6-foot minimum distance. And so that, depending on the size, could be up to 45 to 50 people. We've also moved the overflow room to the gym. The gym will be broadcasting the live stream. So, our worship, as it's looked like the last 8 weeks or so, will look exactly the same when we have worship in the building on May 31st. And we'll be able to have an overflow room in the gym that's also been calculated to have at least 12 families in it. So
Right.
that's just one example.
Yeah, and thank you for that. When I was thinking about, okay, when do we reopen? What are some of the things that I'd like to see happen? I couldn't help but think of my own home, and I tend to do this whenever I look at, hey, how should I interact with certain things? I always look at it from in light of my own home. I would never put anybody and their family at risk in coming to church. You wouldn't do that. We want to create an environment that our families can come in and there is a measure of safety, that people have thought through it. And what puts my heart at rest, that I can say, hey, my family can come, is because I know the process. I've seen the process. I've seen how hard you and others have worked to put this plan together and think through things. And I feel 100% confident and safe that my family can come. And having said that, I want your family to feel comfortable as well. I would never put my family at risk. Not so that the church can open, not so for some personal gain. It's not about that. I love my family, and we love your families, And we would never ask you to come to a place we didn't feel was safe, that we hadn't thought through. And so, I just want to openly thank you for the effort that you've put in, for those in our congregation that have put in to make May 31st a reality. That date, in some sense, is arbitrary, but I want you to know that it's a date that we prayed over and thought through, and that was the fastest the fastest date we can have to prepare well, so when your family comes, they would be safe. My family's going to be there May 31st. I think your family's going to be there May 31st. You might decide that May 31st is not the time for your family to come. By all means, we would encourage you to worship at home. The live stream is going to continue. But for everyone that's watching, know that we have provided the safest and best environment for your family to come and worship in safety. And so, Albert, again, thank you. And thank you to all of you that were a part of that. Blessings.